Hey everyone, it's Kirk McLean here, and you're watching Clay's Canucks Commentary.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary Live, presented to you by Van City Experts Real Estate. I am your host, Clay Emo Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It is Tuesday night, June the 18th. Back to my roots, 11 p.m. I'll explain why, but we're doing this stream. I wasn't scheduled. I usually don't do Tuesday night streams in the off season, but we obviously have some big news to talk about too. Welcome to all of you. Welcome to all of you. I'm glad that you are here. If you're new, here's what you should do. Did I say this already? Hit the subscribe button now for Daily Canucks Insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Moderators, do what you need to do to keep this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's legends, Hall of Fame and franchise members, thank you for your support as always. And to everyone else, no matter where you're watching from, whether in my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston and Richmond, in the city, lower mainland province, country, continent, around the world, thank you for being here. You know that I know that you could be doing anything else, watching anyone else, getting ready for work, school, or better, all three. But the fact that you are here with me right now, know how much I always appreciate you, and I never, ever take you for granted. So this is how you get involved today as we get going. You can subscribe so you get active if you in the chat section. And if you were subscribed, you would have got notified of my video that I did within 5 minutes of the news breaking of Filip Hronek's brand new contract. You can like the video. There are 35 of you watching on YouTube already. Thank you. 11 likes. Let's bump that up. Another 15 or so watching on X. Hopefully that goes up as we get going. You can leave a donation and get the donation train out of the station. You can gift a membership. You can buy your own membership. You can upgrade your own membership. You can use your monthly membership message, your M. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. And you can vote in the poll question as well. I'll leave that up for at least until the halfway point of the show. And then I will look at all of the results. So I feel like I'm back to my roots. It is 11 o'clock on a Tuesday night. So you guys know during the regular season and the playoffs, I went 5 nights a week straight, Sunday through Thursday, for basically 8 months. And then over the summer, especially gearing up towards my trips in July, I back it down to just 2 shows a week. Although this week is going to be 4 shows, and that's even without Canucks After Dark. So I did my show on Sunday. Today I'm doing because of the big news. I want to break it down and get your input. Then tomorrow night is my regular Wednesday night scheduled show. And then I am going to do a show on Friday night for my birthday as I turn 50. And I will announce tomorrow night as to what time that show will be on Friday. So hope you can make plans to join me tomorrow night at 10, my new time. And then Friday night, likely somewhere between 11 and 11:30. I still need to talk to my family based on the poll, based on the feedback you guys gave me on Sunday. And if you're asking me why am I doing it at 11 tonight instead of 10, my usual new time of 10, I was actually out for dinner downtown, and then I got treated for my birthday, and then I wasn't sure if I'd make it back in time for 10, so I set it for 11 o'clock. And that's why we are sitting here at 11, and it works out well because if you guys remember, you guys know what I do late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. I have my church hour at 12. So no matter what, I will wrap up between 11:40 and 11:45. So this is what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about the signing for about 10 to 15 minutes, including the other ramifications. And then I'll do my mid-show sponsor read, and then I will turn it over to all of you. Irvin, I wouldn't call this an emergency stream because emergency kind of like intimates that something bad happened, but no, this is a how about a reactionary stream? Or I wouldn't even say it's spontaneous because I did schedule it earlier today and I tried to get the word out through my community tab. So that's why you got to keep notifications on. By the way, I would love to know, actually really quickly, just put in the chat because I'm really curious. How did you hear about tonight's stream? Did you get a notification either earlier today when I scheduled it or just now? Did you happen to be passing by my channel, or did you actually see the post that I put on my community tab? I'm just really curious as to how the word got out to all of you. Let me know. let me know in the comments really quickly for the next minute. I want to know how you guys heard about tonight's stream. I'm just really curious as to how it goes. And Carol, you want to donate? Thank you. That is very kind of you. I don't know if you got your if you got your issues sorted out. But if anyone, and no one has to do this, but if anyone wants to donate directly without going through YouTube, you can always send to, I just put it in the thing right now, clayemo@shaw.ca, and that's obviously an @ symbol. So that's my direct deposit if you wanted to. It's clayemo@shaw.ca, but you certainly don't feel inclined to do so. That's just if you want to skip through all the YouTube rigmarole as well. So what do we got? Alfred saw the thumbnail in the feed. Coach Rob said on the radio, very funny. Eli watched oh yeah, that's right. I talked about it in my video from this afternoon. Through your video, Clay, and seeing the stream as I went to find your video, YouTube notification, just turned on YouTube, shows up my YouTube feed. Hey, Jared, nice. Got a Twitter notification. Nice. From your video, YouTube recommendation. Oh, that's good that they still recommend my stuff. When I first go to YouTube, your thumbnail pops up first every time. I like that, Sarah. I don't know if you like that, but I like that. Was on the top of your YouTube page. Oh, that's awesome. Coach Rob told me you guys are great. And yeah, I mentioned it in my earlier video. Yes, I'm going to talk about that for sure, Pastor Daniel. All right, let's go. Let's talk about this contract. So I was really curious. And you guys have heard me talk on my stream on Sunday night when I basically said, where's all the Canucks news? And I kind of hinted that maybe Alvin and Rutherford they were working. It's not like they weren't doing anything, but maybe they were working on something big and something that was taking up a lot of their time and energy. And I would consider this big because if you don't count Jake Gensel, and hopefully that we get Jake Gensel for those that like Jake Gensel, that was my first video today. If you don't count him, this is probably going to be our biggest free agent signing, right? 8 years, $7.25 million. So $58 million contract, but the annual AAV is 7.25. That's nothing to sneeze at, or even if you're not sick, there's nothing to, whatever the saying is. So I really think that they decided that I really think that Alvin and Rutherford decided that this contract, this player was the priority. And then everything else is going to fall from here. Because now we know we have $19 million left to spend. Now we know you could spend nine and a half on that on Gensel, then you only have 10 million left. But if you trade away Mikheyev with a sweetener, then maybe you have 50 million left. Then you could still go after Zadorov. So what I do think, I'm kind of going out of order here, but very quickly, I think this was the biggest puzzle piece to set. And now I think Lindholm and Joshua are as good as gone. This is my guess. I think Blueger and Myers are going to get leftover money. And I think it leaves room for 2 or 3 more players, about $19, $20 million to play with for those, or maybe a bit less, actually $15 million to play with for those 2 or 3 players. And maybe that's Gensel and Zadorov. Maybe that's Gensel, Dylan, and another player. So there's a lot of ways that the Canucks can go, but I do think that they needed to get this done today or soon because it was the first of the puzzle pieces, the first shoe to drop. I know Kempner used the term domino effect, whatever, which I agree with too. Whatever you want to think, however you want to put it, I think that this was the move. This was the contract that they're working on for a while. Now, I want to tell you why I like this contract. And that doesn't mean that you have to like this contract. In fact, I'm going to leave plenty of time for you to give me your feedback on it. But I'm going to tell you why I like this contract. And I put it up on Twitter as soon as they, a few minutes after they announced the news, after I ran outside my office to record a quick vlog. So this is what I said on my X feed. I said, I like the deal. Maximum term for a 26-year-old, expensive but not unreasonable AAV, bona fide top pairing right-hand defenseman. It keeps Quinn happy, and now the Canucks can make more moves with this big contract done. So I'm going to talk about each of those points, and there's actually a couple more on there that I failed to mention. Then I want to quickly talk about the contract structure, Then I'll talk about what else the Canucks might be set up to do. And then we'll go mid-show sponsor read, and I'll turn it over to all of you. And there we go. As Kempner called his live stream, it's the domino effect. It's true. So that is my bottom point here, is now the Canucks can make more moves with this big contract done. I truly think, like I said, this is the one that they were working on. And now that this is in play, now they know how much exactly they have to work with. Remember, 19 million or so, but if they can find a way to get rid of Mikheyev's contract, now you're up to 24 million. Let's go through some of these things. We know that it's 8 years, 7.25, $58 million total contract. First point, maximum term for a 26-year-old. He is not 29. He is not 30. He's in his prime, 26. So yeah, 8 years, maybe you would have liked 6 or 7 years, but 8 years is the maximum that you can sign your own player to. Any other team can only sign them to 7 years. So that's the advantage that they bake into a team negotiating with their own free agents, is you can offer that extra year. Would you have liked 6 or 7? Maybe, but remember, when this contract is done, he's 34 years old. He's not 35. He's not 36. He's not 37. This isn't other guys on the market, like a 29 or 30-year-old defenseman that then you have to sign for 6, 7, 8 years. So I like the fact that he's only in his mid-20s. He's entering the prime years right now. So even when this contract is done, even if it ages poorly over the last couple of years, he's only going to be 32, 33, 34 years old. So that's the first thing, is it's maximum term, yes, but he's only 26 years old. And you just look at some of the other right shot defensemen that were on the market. I'll just read you some of the ages, or even left shot defensemen too. Brady Shea, 30 years old. Brandon Montour, 30 years old. Matt Roy, 29. Brett Pesce, 30. So Nikita Zorov, 29. Sean Walker, 30. OEL, 33. Jalen Chatfield, 28. Alexander Carrier, 30. So he's the youngest by far, because technically he's only finished 6 seasons. And that's a key. You don't get a no trade, and I'll get to this in a second. You don't get a no trade clause until you've played 7 seasons or you become 27 years old. Filip Hronek is neither of those. So that's why this is a really good contract in terms of Filip Hronek's age. Remember, this is why I like the contract. It doesn't mean that you have to like the contract, and I'll give you plenty of time to talk about that in a few minutes. It's a little expensive, $7.25 million. It's more than apparently they offered him mid-season, around $6 million, but it's certainly not as much as the $8 million that he was rumored to be asking. We don't know if that's true. I certainly think his drop-off in play in the second half of the season and the playoffs maybe cost him $500,000 a season. But at 7.25, it's not unreasonable. So I've heard other people say this, and I believe it too. I think there's a good contract for Hronek. I think it's an okay contract for the Canucks, but it is going to look a lot better every single season, because we expect the cap to go up $4 million, $5 million, $5.5 million every single season from here on in. So guess what? Right now, 7.25 on 88 million. It's not even 10%. But if the cap's 100, 105 million by the time this contract ends, it's going to look like a very, very good deal in terms of salary cap. So yes, 7.25 seems a little high, or it might be, a little higher than some people want. But I think this one is going to age very, very well. And then don't forget, Quinn Hughes makes 7.85. So for anyone worried about optics or worrying about politics in the dressing room or anything like that, you don't have to worry. He's making a full $600 million less than Quinn Hughes every season. So that's why I don't mind the AAV. You guys, if we lost Filip Hronek, you have to then replace him with a top pairing right-hand defenseman. And I talked about guys like Montour. Okay, Montour is a top pairing guy. Matt Roy, second pairing guy. Brett Pesce, second pairing guy, maybe half one, half two. But this is a bona fide top right shot guy. And you won't call him a number 1 defenseman, but you can call him, I think you can call him a solid number 2, or a high number 3. Regardless, these right-handed defensemen do not grow on trees. You rarely get them by a trade. That's why I was so excited about this trade 2 years ago. You can also, you have to draft and develop these guys. And then, for 8 years, then that gives time for Tom Bovenlander to slot in. Bovenlander was never going to be our top pairing guy, at least not yet. So it gives Bovenlander a wonderful place to settle in as the second pairing right shot D, and that will be as early as 2 or 3 years right now. So I like this. Again, without him, who's your top right-hand D? It's Myers, and he's not even signed yet. It's Myers and Juleson. I of course the Canucks would have gone out and get someone, but why not get someone who's proven that he has chemistry with Quinn Hughes? And I think this is a big one. Quinn Hughes has talked about how much he loves playing with Filip Hronek. Quinn Hughes had his Norris Trophy likely winning season with Filip Hronek. Yes, you can say, and I think it's obvious that Quinn Hughes helped bump Hronek's value up for sure, and Hronek should take Hughes out for dinner, like for a few nights in a row to thank him. But Hughes also had his best season of his career, and he played almost the entire season with Filip Hronek as his partner. So it's symmetrical. It goes, or not symmetrical. It goes symbiotic, I think is the word I'm looking for. It goes both ways, basically. So yes, it keeps Quinn happy. And don't forget, Quinn's going to have to sign a new contract soon. He's going to make a lot more than 7.85. I'll tell you that much. But after 3 more seasons, Quinn's going to need a new contract. But then he can extend another 5. 5 at the time that ends, and then it can go to the end of Hronek's contract. So this sets up the Vancouver Canucks very well for the next 8 years or more if Hughes resigns. I think that's a fair expectation right now. So I think that's really good. And then you have one of the top D pairings in the entire NHL. I'm sure they might want to split them up eventually, but you don't have to. It also gives you insurance. What if Quinn Hughes gets hurt? Now you have Filip Hronek who can step in, not as good, but on the first line power play, the first power play unit as well. So there are many reasons why I do like this deal. Frank Cervelli tweeted out the actual details. So 5.5 million plus salary, 4 million salary bonus. And you can kind of see then on 1 year, it's only salary. There's no signing bonus. And I think that has to do with predictions of a potential lockout. I don't know the ramifications. I got to read about that. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but that's what I heard. And then you can see that the signing bonus goes down lower. So does the actual cash outlay. So it's a front-loaded contract, which means it's easier to buy out in those last 2 or 3 years, the last 2 years, if you really need to. But let's not worry about that right now. This is the start of the 8 years, not the end. Interesting. Full new move from 25 to 28. So he doesn't get a no move here because this is his 7th season. I just mentioned you got to play 7 seasons before you earn that full move. You can have a no move. So for these years, for 3 seasons, he's got a full no move. And then for the final 4 seasons, he's got a 15 team no trade list. So it's a small win, but I think the Canucks win here in that they didn't have to give a full no move for the entire term of the contract. So my friends, those are the reasons why I like the deal. I don't love it, but I like it. I like it. And I like it because of all those reasons I mentioned. Keeps Quinn happy, bona fide right shot D, max term for mid-20s, bigger piece of the puzzle, locked in now. Now you know what you can do. And they did it early. They didn't wait till July 1st. They did it early. Avoided arbitration, which is another thing I didn't even list. But arbitration it can get nasty. And then it can really set the stage for a 1-year exit for a player. So for all those reasons, I do like this deal. Now I asked you, what do you think of the Hronek contract? 86 votes, which is pretty good. 59% of you said I like it. So 59%. So the other 41%, 22% too much term, the 8 years. 12% said too much money, the 7.25 for those 8 years. And 5% of you said too much money and too much term. All right, let's go to my mid-show sponsor read, and then I will turn it over to all of you, get your feedback both on this contract and anything else you want to ask me. Shout out to my primary sponsor, Van City Experts Real Estate. Contact Jason Lim and his team for all of your real estate needs. Shout out to my secondary sponsor, Coach Patrick Liu, weight loss coach. You can get a free 5-day workout by going to coachpatricklou.com/clay. Thank you to Gas Jack Art, making that fine artwork. And thank you to Monkey Night Brewing, Vessi Footwear. Use the link tinyurl.com/VessiClay and receive a free pair of socks off your next purchase of Vessi shoes. Don't forget, this week, I have my show tomorrow night at 10 p.m. And then tomorrow night, I will announce what time I'm doing my birthday stream to celebrate my 50th birthday on Friday nights. Also, don't forget that you can subscribe. You can like the video. Would you leave a donation and be the first to get the donation train out of the station? We had a lot of donations on Sunday. It's kind of funny how sometimes it's like feast or famine, which I'm certainly not complaining about. I appreciate anything that comes in. So you can leave a donation. You can gift a membership. You can buy your own membership. You can upgrade your own membership. You can use your monthly membership message, your M. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. All right. I have 20 minutes. I will happily read either your thoughts on the contract or answer any of your questions. If it isn't Guentzel, who else would be the ideal line mate for PD? It does fall off a little bit after that, fangirl. Sam Reinhart, but I think Sam Reinhart's gonna re-sign in Florida. So is it someone like a Marchessault who's 34 years old? Do you go Matt Duchene, who's a little bit old? I've talked about Teuvo Teravainen from Carolina. I like him. Then are you looking at a Toffoli or a Jake DeBrusk? Are you looking at an Anthony Duclair? But I think it does clearly drop off a little bit after Guentzel. Based on the Hronek signing, what does this mean for the rest of our UFAs? There's guaranteed not to get now. Yes. You might not have been here, Ryan, earlier. I said that to me, this means no Lindholm. This means no Joshua. I think the next priority on their hit list is probably Nikita Zadorov. They're going to try and do that. There is a world where they can get Zadorov and Guentzel, and then really, really cheap players for the rest of their roster. But that's where Eli Mikheyev trade would help. But I think Zadorov is still on the table. Of those three, I'd say Joshua and Lindholm are gone. I think Zadorov, they're still trying to negotiate with. We're better with him than without him. 7.25 isn't completely outrageous. Yes, Irvin, I agree with you completely. Brady Tkachuk, he's not on the trade block, is he though? Tyler says the term is a little bit worrying. Yeah, you probably got him cheaper though per season by going so long. With how he's paid comparatively to Quinn, would you see Hronek times carry his own pair offensively? I know that's what Alvin would like him to do, or at least be able to do. But yeah, compared to Quinn in true dollars, but in when you look at when they sign their contracts, the contracts really aren't comparable. And I think that'll be very, very clear when Quinn signs his next one. But I hear what you are saying. You said you don't love Hronek's contract. What reservations did you have about the contract? I just think, I like it. I don't love it because I want to save money at every chance you get. So I would love 7 or 6.75. Maybe that's unrealistic. And what I don't love, I could have done it with 6 or 7 years as opposed to 8, but I understand why they needed to do 8. What style of winger does PD need? Does Guentzel tick those boxes? I think he needs a player with high hockey IQ. I really do. I don't think Hoglander's there yet. So Guentzel, he's played with one of the most brilliant minds in the game, in Sidney Crosby. So I think Guentzel's got a high hockey IQ, give and go, finding spaces, knowing when to be the distributor, when to be the sniper. I think all those reasons. Good skater too. He's a great skater. So great passer. All those things I think would be awesome reasons for him to be a line mate of PD. Yes, be presto. It'll be Demko's and she loves. I'm telling you, that number starts with an 8 all day long. It might not be in Vancouver, but it's definitely happening. Yeah, Sarah Valley, he's kind of polarizing. I don't mind him. I think sometimes he does stuff to get a rise out of people, but he's often wrong. But he often gets stuff right as well. Canucks need a training center like Florida. Interesting. Do you see Boulet's comment on the Hronek post? No. Tell me what he said. Let's talk. Yeah, it's crazy. You got to think that Edmonton has the momentum going back home now. Carroll would love to fully back. I'd like to think the Panthers will still win one of the next two, but who knows? Do you think Myers is a higher priority than Zadorov? No. The fact that he had signed for less, he's less of a priority because you can sign Myers a little bit later. And remember, you have until July 1st. His contract doesn't expire to July 1st, so you can still work on Zadorov for the next week or so. Brady for Demko, Hogs in our first. I don't do that, D-Tran. I don't think I do that. Do you see Podkolzin as a replacement for Joshua on line 3? Yep, I do think he's going to be giving every chance to make it. Don't trade away. Yeah, this part of Wuhan, this is probably part of a earlier thread, which is fine. In 4 years, the term will seem cheap. So it's easier to move if it doesn't work out. Or better, younger. Yeah, good point, Kenton. I don't know if anyone's better going to develop, but I think Bovenlander will be right behind him. Zadorov has clearly proven that he's better than Hronek. No, he's more consistent. Why pay Hronek so much? Is it only because of the right hand D? I would say some would argue that Zadorov has not clearly proven. He had a good playoff, but remember, Hronek was hurt. And I think a lot of people still aren't convinced that Zadorov is a second pairing defenseman. And the right shot side adds a premium for sure. I do not think Lekkerimäki will be ready next season. I'm giving him one more year after this. I lie. Correct. We do not have a first or second round pick this year. You think Gensel might take a discount if he signs with Vancouver for our cap issues? No, he's going to want to get paid. And I think because of the other reasons I outlined in my video, I think the Canucks still want to go after him for sure. A great point. The number might have started with an 8 if they went to arbitration. Great point, Kemp, Trev, for sure. Once McDavid gets going, he gets going. Yes. Yeah, I haven't seen the Florida Training Center, but I think everything in Florida is nice. Ehlers is apparently a trading block. Would he be a good fit with PD? Yep, Ehlers would be good. He's an RFA though, right? So you have to give up a little more to get him. Is a guy like Gensel a problem for our leading players on and off the ice, or is he a difference maker and better maker? Yeah, Bernd, I've heard nothing but good things. You know, he got, I think, a locker room with Malkin, Letang, and Crosby. I'm not saying it's full of egos, but that would be a challenging one to navigate as well. I'm not worried at all in fact, I think he's a type who will kind of fit in quietly. Gensel's not the type to rock the boat. He just kind of talks with his play, so to speak. Buble said that Saravalli said Hronek. Oh, he mentioned that's really funny. Hronek said that he wasn't hurt. Yeah, but that obviously was not true. Do you think DPD mixed in the lineup? No, Rick. I think he's also 1 year away. I think Lekkerimäki, DPD, and Wilander are all 1 year away. Zadorov was playing like a contract year player. I don't think he plays like he did in the playoffs consistently. Yeah, Garrett, that's a good point. Some people aren't completely sold just yet. Satellite first. Do you mean July 1st? Free agency. It's called free agency if you're talking about July 1st. What players will we get realistically? 7-6 is so hard to say. Who wins the Cup and the Smythe? If I think unless Edmonton gets blown out, even if Florida wins game 6 and it's close, I think it might be Connor McDavid, to be honest with you, now that they're going to game 6. But I still think Florida's going to win the Cup. Gensel would be amazing. Ehlers UFA at the end of next season. Yes. This is the most exciting offseason since 2006 when we got Luongo. All eyes on Gensel. Yeah, that would be a difference maker for sure. I agree, Rick, that McDavid will win the Conn Smythe. I'm a skeptic when it comes to the idea of Gensel coming here. I think our chances are 60-40. Well, 60 yes, 40 no. That's more than being a skeptic. That's good. What's your walkway number for Joshua? 3, Zadorov 5, Lindholm 7. So Lindholm even 6.5. So I don't think they're going to match any of the three of those, to be honest with you. July 1st, I think cap friendly goes to the Washington Capitals. Betting odds of the Stanley Cup winner are tightening fast. It's still minus 330 though, plus 260. What was it before, James? What was it before? Zadorov is second pair in D because they're offering him more than Susie. Plus, he got more minutes in the playoffs. Yeah, so good point, Trev. It depends what you call. Do you base second pairing? Do you base pairings on money or on deployment? And you mentioned both there. Yeah. It really depends. It really depends. So the argument that I think Trevor's trying to make is if you pay Zadorov 5 or 5.5 and Soucy's only making 3.25, then you probably play Zadorov more as a second pairing D, and then you can bump Soucy down to a third pairing. July 1st is very important. Who will have to rebuild more once players like Crosby, Malcolm, Letang, and Ovechkin retires? Is Pittsburgh, Washington? I think Washington is already in the rebuild because Ovechkin is not the same player he is. Pittsburgh had a chance to make the playoffs into the very end. But so I think Washington is about 1 or 2 years ahead of Pittsburgh in the rebuild. Who is a bigger priority for the Canucks? And is our cap good? Our cap is not good. It's okay. There's a lot of teams that are worse, but a lot of teams that are better. Who is a bigger priority? I think Zadorov over Lindholm and Joshua, if that's what you're talking about. Is it conceivable that Florida wins the Cup and McDavid wins the Conn Smythe? Absolutely, yes. I think that's what's going to happen, actually. Who is a UFA after next season? After next season, we lose Besser is the big one, Pius Suter, Phil DiGiuseppe, Noah Juleson, and Tucker Pullman. People wanting Zadorov over Hronek is based on recency bias. Zadorov was always a 4-5. Hronek was the best D partner Houston's ever had. Keeping Hronek over Zadorov is the right move. I agree. I agree with that. Hey, Rosie, why is Washington buying cap friendly? Yeah, I never really got into it, but why start something when you can just buy all the intelligence already? Alfred, why is Hronek's contract 8 years instead of 5 or 6? Would 8 years mean good fortune for his contract? Well, if you're Chinese, yes. I think the longer you go, the more you can shrink the AAV. And maybe he said, I only sign if it's 8 years. Maybe it was a part of the negotiations. But because he's only 26, I'm okay with it. Before the playoffs, I don't think anyone would have said keep Zadorov or Hronek. That's fair. How many years should Benning have gotten as GM? Oh, Fangirl, so tough to say. Like, it's tough to go back. How long did he last? Was it like 6 years or something? That's crazy. So less than that. Yes, Carol, we will have to make some moves because we have a roster that's only 2/3 complete. I think the Canucks are going to be Frank Cervelli is pegging them as the favorites. Which team in the NHL has a worse cap situation than Vancouver? The Wild. Yeah, Vegas is another one. I have to look it up, but definitely Vegas is one of them too. Hey, Helen. Who do you think is better for the game for which team wins the cup? Better for the game? Well, Florida has proved that they've been quite dominant over the past 3 years. Everyone loves to see the bet, regardless of Edmonton, whether you like them or not. It's nice to see the best player in the league get rewarded. So better for the game, maybe Edmonton, and then it breaks the Canadian franchise streak, maybe. If we sign Gensel for $9 million, how much would you be comfortable with term-wise? I think you got to go $9 million. He's 29 or 30. I think you go 6 years. 6 times 9, 7 at the most. Yeah, well, you can't go 8, so 6 or 7. If Bluger comes back as our 4C, who would you get as a bargain right-handed 3C? Right-handed 3C. I don't know who's right-handed out there. Sean Monahan right-handed? Supposed to make $3 million. Alex Wenberg. I don't know if any of these guys are right-handed, so that's the thing. I don't know. Sorry, Irvin. Bad answer. Yeah, Raw was good. Tyler, Raw was good. Z will be helpful for another playoff run. Yeah. Did you see the Panther? Yeah, Bill Zito was very mad. Betting lasted 7 to 8. Wow. Hronek played so bad in the second half of the season, did nothing in the playoffs. Yeah, Ryan, because he was hurt. Not excusing it, but he was hurt, even though he wouldn't admit to it. Hronek wants to buy a house here. His girlfriend, wife loves it here. Oh, okay. How do you know? Are you the realtor, Helen? Benning got 8 years as GM, about 6 years too long. Welcome, Lyndon. Benning got 8 years. Wow. McDavid can carry this to game 7. I agree. Hronek's being $7 million a year. He can almost afford a house. We're going to lose. I thought best were a couple more years left on his contract. We're going to lose. Carol, not sure what you mean there. You're talking about Besser? He's got 1 year left. Yes, Besser's got 1 year left. Mona has left. Yeah, I had no clue, Lyndon. I was just kind of guessing. I've always said Hannafin's 8-year deal at 7.35 is comparable on what Hronek should get. Hronek has a better production career rise on a much worse team and is a year younger plus right D. Yeah, and other people like Hannafin. I like Hannafin a lot too, but I think the right shot D thing is huge. Do you see Did you see what the renewal gift was for full season ticket holders? It's pretty cool. No, Rosie, when did you get it? How do you get it? I didn't go. Well, I went with Jason today, but it was for Jason's tickets. Rosie, what was the renewal gift? And am I supposed to get one, or how do you get it? Tell me. Because I wasn't planning to go tomorrow to mine after seat selection. Where do you get it, Rosie? And what is it? Tell me. I sound like a little kid. I would have thought after postseason media Hronek had, he would want out of Vancouver. Yeah, it was just one testy exchange. I think everyone made a bigger deal of it than it was. What was your first thought when you saw the news about Hronek? I was surprised, but then not surprised because this group is good at not leaking anything. And then I ran outside to record a vlog. Who am I cheering for? Truly Kempner, truly Trev. Not cheering for anyone. I just want to see good hockey. But if I had my choice, I'd pick Florida over Edmonton for Luongo. After the seat selection in the club section, oh, I wasn't aware of that. That's good. What's the gift? Oh, it's a mini stick made from the plexiglass glass. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, I didn't get mine. What am I doing? Maybe I should go to Rogers tomorrow just to get that. But coming all the way from White Rock, we'll see. Florida for sure. Panthers for sure. What was I doing when Hronek's deal was announced? I was about to go upstairs to talk to my accounting department because I'm working on a little project. I need some clarification, but I put that down, grabbed my microphone, grabbed my tripod, and I recorded that quick 4-minute video outside in the blazing sun. I don't want McDavid to win. In the captain's room, not captain's room. Huh? In the captain's room, not captain's room? What does that mean, Rosie? Should have gotten an email. Yeah, I didn't get any email about that. Jack Roslovic is a right-handed center. Yeah, I do like Roslovic. He's fast. Was cheering for Panthers and they would have swept it, but now cheering for the underdog Oilers. Okay, that's fair. Luongo for the win. Don't want Evander Kane or Perry to win. Not club section. Okay, so captain section, not the club section. No, Rosie, I never got an email about that. So who knows? Just check cap friendly while it's still live. Free agent right-handed centers: Lindholm, Boyd, Roslovic, McLeod, Blackwell, Stenlund. So not the most inspiring list. Yeah, for sure. Okay, last 5 minutes, you guys. I know 59% of you said you liked it, but give me a rating out of 10. How much you like the deal, and give me your main reason why. Is it because you like the term? Is it because you like the money? Is it because he's only 26 years old? Is it because it means that we can move on with other pieces? Is it because he's good for Quinn Hughes? Is it because he's an indispensable right shot D? Tell me how much you like the deal out of 10 and why. Tell me why. Is there a reasonable replacement for Joshua if he leaves? He was okay in the playoffs. I think he was good in the game ones. Chris, I think, as Alvin said, they want to find the next Joshua. So maybe that's someone like Podkolzin, or maybe they find someone in free agency. Ryan, I think the next signing will be after the weekend. 7.25 says Garrett. Let's talk 8 because it doesn't start with an 8. Nice. 6, concerned about the term. 4, need to see how he performs first. Yeah, but Fangirl, I'm asking you to project. Like I can't ask you. Well, you can say what you want, but I'm asking you what you think now, not what are you going to think after he plays. I'm asking you to step out and make a bold prediction now. But yes, you do say he's right-hand D, of course. Tyler Madden's right-handed C. I remember him. Before the deal got announced, I told a customer at my job he would stay for 8 at 7. That's pretty right on. Hronek helped Hughes in the Canucks with the Pacific Division. He's a core player. 7, because Hronek still makes less than Hughes. Hey, he makes 7. 5, it's the term 8 years. So Lynn is not sold on the term. 5, I think it's way too much money. He honestly shouldn't get anything close to Hughes. I think you pay him 5. Yeah, but remember, we got to talk relative to cap and relative to where everything else was. Quinn signed that 3 years ago, and look how well that's aging. You think Hoglander is next Joshua? No. He doesn't play the same way, but I'll take 20 goals from Hoglander for sure. Okay, Rosie, I'll check it out. Thank you. 7, good partner for Hughes, but term a bit long. 8, locked in a proven first line defensive line we can excel. You can pair anyone with Hughes and they'll play well. Well, not anyone, but I hear what you're saying. 8, much like Parasite, I don't think dealing Hronek is a trade we would have won. Glad he's staying for now. They should make a limit that after 29 years, it should be 5 years max. Yeah, I don't think the players would agree to that. All right, we'll end with this one. 8.5 out of 10. He's young, a good term that will age well. And have his contract, the Canucks can trade him as a cap will be low. And he has that 15 trade, no team. 9 out of 10 because I think he's going to be great. And then Lyndon still doing some CBA work for us. All right, friends, I do have to get going. Thank you for being here in this not emergency stream, but I guess not even spontaneous stream because I scheduled it. But how about unscheduled stream, which is kind of still technically incorrect as well. So thanks for being here. Moderators, thank you for keeping this a safe and respectful place. By the way, is this the Matt Lee from BC Lotto? If it is, welcome, my former Canucks hockey blog podcast partner. And if it's not Matt Lee, then it's a guy with the same name of a guy that I used to blog with and podcast with at Canucks Hockey Blog. All right, for real. Moderators, thank you for keeping this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's Legendary Lucas Gates, Legendary Carol Bovenlander, Legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members. Thanks for your support as always. Oh, it is Matt. That's awesome. Thanks for your support as always. And to everyone else, thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. Don't forget, my next show is tomorrow night at 10 p.m. where we can still talk 10 p.m. tomorrow, not 11. So back to my usual off-season 10 p.m. I hope you can join me, and then I'll be streaming on Friday night as well. So thanks to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, and thanks to Coach Patrick Liu, weight loss coach. And on your way out, you can leave a late donation. You can gift a membership, buy your own membership, upgrade your membership, use your monthly membership message, subscribe, like the video, and if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. Okay, friends, go to bed knowing that we have the right side of our first pairing on D locked up for the next 8 seasons in the form of one Filip Hronek. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. I'm contemplating doing some of these stream ending dad jokes in sign language. Yes. That way I can guarantee that no one's heard them before. God bless and go Canucks go. Booyah.